Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation.
Look, there's almost too much to say about our next guest. Tim Minchin is the king of creativity. Whether he's dazzling us on stage, composing behind the scenes for Matilda the musical, he has one of the most creative brains in Australia, maybe in the world. And he's just put out a new book called You Don't Have to Have a Dream. Tim Minchin, hi.
Hi, Amanda.
Yes.
Hi, Jonesy.
Hello, Tim. You're in the midst of moving house, which is the worst job in the history of the world.
It's moving day. The Packers are in, and I thought, I'm going to go and do some radio because this sucks.
That's how big you are. James Packer's back in town, and he's come round to
Yeah,
to help you move.
yeah. The Packers are there having an argument.
Cradle's there. Everyone's there.
Cradle's there. Totally. No, it's exciting. We've just been renovating, so we've been living in a rental for a couple of years, and we're going back. Yeah, it's really good.
Well, you're going to feel like a grown-up living in a nice house.
I
You'd
know.
have to trash it.
I'm deeply uncomfortable with it, actually. I've never sort of made a house nice.
Yeah.
And we've renovated this old 1930s house, and I feel, it's exactly that feeling of, oh my God, I'm a grown-up, which at 48.9 I should already feel, but it's a bit scary.
I first felt like a grown-up when I got a salad spinner.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I thought, you know what? I was in my 50s, and I thought, I am actually a grown-up. That was the sign for me that I'd become
And then you
other.
started spinning and you felt like
Yeah.
a child again.
I always feel like when I get a piece of timber,
Yeah.
and I go, that's a good bit of timber, I'll keep that.
Yeah.
So I've got a pile of it, and it's not for burning, it's just for in case I need a piece of timber.
Yeah, I think that's pretty grown up. I feel like a grown up every morning when I wake up in severe pain.
Yes.
just from living. Like I did quite a lot of carrying stuff up into an attic yesterday, and I woke up this morning feeling like I'd run a marathon.
Well, look, let's talk about your book, You Don't Have to Have a Dream. I've seen some videos of incredible speeches you make where you say to university graduates or the like, here are my tenets for how to have a good life. Is that what this is about?
Yeah, so this is a book which started as a publisher saying, I did this university speech about 10 years ago that went ape
That must
viral.
have been what I saw.
Went all around the world, and a publisher said, why don't we make that speech into a little book, something you keep by the loo, give to your kids when they leave school. And but actually I've done 3 graduation speeches, and they all sort of deal with different things. One's really about life, one's about acting and artistry and writing, and one's more about music. And so we collected them all, and then I wrote some essays kind of drawing them together and reflecting on how these ideas influence my work and how I live my life. It's pretty pretentious, but as we say, I'm a grown-up now, so I'm allowed to
You
pontificate.
could do that.
Yeah. And then we found this beautiful illustrator, and it ended up being a really gorgeous book, and it's gone pretty well. It's in the Sunday Times bestseller list in the UK now, and I think it's number 1 nonfiction in Australia this week. So people obviously want advice from an idiot. That's what I've concluded.
I was reading here that you said you feel you've woken up to cancel culture.
Oh, well, who said that?
That's what it said. That's what it said in my questions here.
Oh,
So
right. Yeah. I mean, there's lots of stuff in the book. A lot of it's about, positivity and the you don't have to have a dream thing is a lot of it is about me trying to just, placate these dominant narratives that everyone has to really know what they want to do and they're going to be president or an astronaut. It's not how I got to where I got. I've just always been really passionate about what's in front of me and let come what may. And I know that doesn't work for everyone. And if you want to be a constitutional lawyer, you need to have a long-term goal. But for a lot of us, I don't think we have that vocational urge. And so I've just always been like, just be really into what you're doing, even if it's working in a cafe or writing a score for a youth theatre company, which is how I sort of started out. But there's also other stuff in the book that addresses some of the contemporary issues. The one that makes me very anxious is how social media makes everyone feel like they're on separate sides from one another. We find it very easy to dehumanize people we disagree with. So I don't get too caught up in that, but I think that's given that I talk a lot about critical thinking and about checking your own ideas and making sure you don't make assumptions that everything you think is right, I had to address the social media factor.
Yeah, because we've become safer now. I found, you don't want to say anything controversial, and I find anything we say on the radio is fine. But if we isolate it and put it into a little soundbite, it's a whole different kettle of fish.
It's like the football taking something to the bunker. If you look at something in slow motion at all, it's terrible.
Yeah, that's right.
You can't live your life like that.
Yeah, and because I'm a long-form speaker, I speak in long sentences, and I'm always interested in unpacking all angles that I can possibly think of. It's a very interesting time to be in the public domain because I can say something long and loving and conciliatory and a bit like, well, some people think this and that, and then have that taken out of context and put on the internet. And yeah, I've actually got off social media now, having kind of copped one too many pile-ons. And they feel, the trouble is it makes you paranoid. It feels like the whole world's piling on you. It's just a couple of hundred kids, or usually young people.
Well, we had Rob Schneider. He came in, and we were going to roast him, because he's anti-vaxxer and all this stuff. Anyway, he was lovely, wasn't he? We had a really
annoyingly personable,
a very great interview.
There's
and
nice anti-vaxxers. Doesn't mean they're right.
No, exactly. You can have your own opinion on things, but I did say to him, I said, but in America, what's it like? Because it looks like America's going nuts. And he said, well, online it looks like it's going nuts. Right. But if you go to America, it's fine.
Yeah, and I think that's absolutely right. Now I'm off social media. It's definitely made me feel a bit better. The trouble is, in the world, in America, people are still treating each other as humans. Unfortunately, online does translate to media coverage. So the New York Times checks Twitter, which is crazy. The New York Times shouldn't be reporting on those conversations because those conversations are algorithmically distorted. And also it translates to votes. So I'd love to go, oh, that's just online stuff. But unfortunately, online is where Trump's supporters see him in this distorted, amazing way. And so, you can't ignore it, unfortunately. We could talk about it all day. But,
you want to, because that way you don't have to move house.
Yeah, that's right. Well, there's a lesson in my big speech, the speech that went viral, and it's define yourself by what you love. And that's something I'm really working on, because it's so easy to go, I don't like this, and I hate it when people this, and I don't like Coldplay, and I don't like Taylor Swift or whatever. And we just get really good at defining ourselves in opposition to stuff. So in my speech, I say be pro stuff, not anti stuff, which is why I'm always careful about getting too caught up in the kids these days and their social medias. So what is the positive thing we can talk about that is the offset to that? So rather than whining about it, what can we say about society that makes us feel better?
Well, I like to quote you about these things. I also like to quote Steve Guttenberg from the Police Academy.
Oh, yeah,
movies.
of course.
But he actually said recently, and I've tried to change my thinking around this, is that rather than saying, oh, I have to go and do something, say, I get to do this today.
Well, that's the key to happiness. And there's another reason social media is poison, is because comparison to others is absolute poison. And we've always known that since the ancient Greeks, since before then, we've known that comparing yourself to others is the key to unhappiness. Yeah. I mean, we're never going to be Steve Guttenberg.
No.
I don't know how many of your listeners know. I know exactly who he is. So choosing what you have rather than striving for what you haven't got is, of course, the key to happiness, but easy for me to say because I'm moving into my nice kitchen today.
And you'll always know that Amanda defaults to Police Academy.
Yeah.
I stopped after number 6.
Well, Tim, it's great to have you in. Good luck with the movie. You're using the ute from Upright?
That'd be good. No, unfortunately, we're paying people to do it, so it's just cardboard boxes.
It would be sad if I saw you with boxes, if you rang us and said, can you guys give me a hand
moving my fridge?
And because he's got a piano as well.
I'm doing a lot of little trips with little bits of musical equipment that I don't want anyone else to touch,
Fair enough.
Your book, You Don't Have to Dream, is available now.
You don't have to have a dream.
You don't have to have a dream. You don't even have to dream. You don't have to have a dream. It's available now. And for tickets to the tour, go to fane.com.au/Tim Minchin.
There you go. Go listen to me pontificate more on stage.
I can't dream of anything I'd like more.
Yeah, I'll see you there.
See you there.